Most people spend years trying to improve their financial life from the outside. They try to work harder, learn more skills, stay motivated, follow routines, push themselves beyond exhaustion. And yet, even after all that effort, many still feel stuck in the exact same place financially. Not because they're lazy, not because they lack ambition, but because they may be trying to solve an internal problem using only external solutions. And that raises a fascinating question. What if the real barrier to wealth isn't only around you, but also inside you? For thousands of years, ancient civilizations believed human beings possessed an internal center connected to intuition, awareness, perception, and higher consciousness. A hidden receiver inside the brain capable of influencing the way people think, feel, and interact with reality itself. Today, many people know this center by another name, the pineal gland. And while there's a lot of exaggerated information surrounding it online, there's also a deeper psychological truth behind why so many people are suddenly interested in it again. Because whether you call it awareness, intuition, mental clarity, or energetic alignment, the reality is this: your internal state directly affects your external behavior. And your behavior shapes your financial life more than most people realize. The reason this matters is simple. Most people are living in constant mental noise, stress, distraction, fear, comparison, overstimulation. The nervous system never fully relaxes, and when the brain stays trapped in survival mode for too long, people stop thinking clearly. They become reactive instead of intentional. They struggle to focus, struggle to trust themselves, struggle to recognize opportunities. Over time, this creates emotional patterns that quietly sabotage growth. And this is where the idea of activating the pineal gland becomes interesting. Because at its core, the concept is really about awakening a different mental state, a state of deeper awareness, greater emotional regulation, sharper intuition, and stronger alignment between thought and action. Not magic, not instant wealth, but a profound shift in perception and behavior. And once perception changes, life often changes with it. One of the biggest reasons people struggle financially is because their brain becomes conditioned for survival instead of expansion. And survival mode changes everything. When the nervous system constantly feels threatened, the brain narrows its focus. It prioritizes immediate safety over long-term growth. This affects decision-making more than most people understand. People become hesitant, fearful, emotionally reactive. Even small risks begin feeling dangerous. And when fear dominates perception, opportunity becomes invisible. This is why many people unknowingly push away the very progress they want. Not intentionally, but subconsciously, because the brain interprets change as uncertainty, and uncertainty as danger. Ancient traditions believed the pineal gland represented a gateway beyond this limited survival thinking, a bridge between instinct and higher awareness. And interestingly, modern psychology points towards something very similar. When people regulate stress effectively, improve emotional awareness, and quiet constant mental noise, their thinking changes dramatically. They become calmer under pressure, more creative, more intuitive, more capable of long-term thinking. In other words, their internal state shifts from fear to clarity. And clarity changes behavior. That's why many practices associated with activating the pineal gland are really designed to reduce overstimulation and restore mental balance. Silence, meditation, deep breathing, sound frequencies, nature exposure, focused attention. These practices calm the nervous system and improve awareness. And once awareness increases, people begin noticing patterns they previously ignored. They recognize unhealthy habits, self-sabotaging thoughts, Fear-based decisions. For the first time, they stop operating on autopilot. That alone can completely transform someone's financial trajectory over time, because wealth is heavily connected to behavior, and behavior is heavily connected to emotional state. Now, this is where the conversation becomes even more fascinating, because your brain is constantly responding to frequency. Not just sound frequencies, but emotional frequencies too. Fear has a frequency. Stress has a frequency. Confidence has a frequency. Focus has a frequency. You can feel this instantly around other people. Some people drain energy the moment they enter a room. Others make you feel calmer, clearer, and more motivated without saying much at all. That's because human beings constantly influence each other emotionally. And your internal emotional patterns influence your own brain every single day. This is why chronic stress becomes dangerous. The brain adapts to repeated emotional states. If someone spends years feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and financially hopeless, those emotions eventually become their default programming. Their nervous system begins expecting struggle automatically. And when struggle becomes familiar, the brain unconsciously recreates it. Not because someone wants to suffer, but because familiarity feels safe to the nervous system. This is why changing your frequency is not really about mystical thinking. It's about changing the emotional patterns dominating your daily experience. Because repeated emotions become repeated behaviors, and repeated behaviors create outcomes. Ancient cultures often used sound, rhythm, chanting, and resonance to alter mental states intentionally. Today, researchers understand that certain sounds and frequencies can influence relaxation, focus, and emotional regulation. That's one reason practices involving meditation music, breathwork, and sound therapy have become so popular. They help interrupt stress patterns. And when stress patterns weaken, people think differently. They stop reacting emotionally to every setback. They recover faster from failure. They feel less mentally scattered. This creates something extremely important financially: consistency. Most people underestimate how valuable emotional consistency is. Wealth is rarely built through emotional chaos. It's built through stable decisions repeated over long periods of time. And that becomes much easier when the brain is no longer trapped in constant overstimulation. This is why many people describe pineal gland activation as feeling more connected, aware, or aligned. Because internally, their mind becomes quieter. And when mental noise decreases, intuition becomes easier to hear. Not supernatural intuition, pattern recognition, clarity, awareness. The ability to sense when something feels right or deeply wrong. That ability becomes incredibly powerful in every area of life, especially financially. One of the most misunderstood ideas about wealth is the belief that money is only about effort. Effort matters. But effort without alignment often leads to burnout. You've probably seen this before. Someone works constantly, yet never seems to move forward. Meanwhile, another person appears calmer, more focused, and somehow attracts better opportunities naturally. Why? Because energy affects behavior, and behavior affects outcomes. People who feel emotionally grounded communicate differently. They carry themselves differently, take action differently, handle setbacks differently. Others feel that energy immediately. Confidence creates trust. Calmness creates clarity. Emotional stability creates momentum. This is why energetic alignment matters more than people realize. Again, not in a magical sense, but in a behavioral sense. When your thoughts, emotions, attention, and actions move in the same direction, your life becomes more coherent. You stop fighting yourself internally. That's powerful. Because internal conflict destroys momentum. One part of someone wants success, while another part fears change. One part wants abundance, while another part feels guilty receiving it. One part wants freedom, while another part fears uncertainty. Those invisible internal contradictions quietly block progress, and many people spend years trapped there without realizing it. But once awareness increases, those patterns become visible. People begin noticing, why do I panic when things start improving? Why do I sabotage opportunities? Why do I return to the same financial cycles? That awareness changes everything. Because the moment unconscious patterns become conscious, they can finally be changed. This is why so many ancient traditions emphasized inner work before external success. Because external success amplifies internal state. If someone is internally chaotic, or money often creates more chaos. But if someone develops clarity, emotional stability, discipline, and awareness, their external life begins reflecting those qualities over time. And this is the deeper idea behind activating the pineal gland for wealth. Not magically attracting money from nowhere, but transforming the internal patterns that influence every decision, reaction, and behavior connected to money. Because eventually, your dominant internal state becomes your dominant external reality. And the people who seem naturally aligned with abundance often share similar qualities. They trust themselves, stay emotionally grounded under pressure, recover quickly from setbacks, focus on opportunities instead of fear, maintain long-term thinking. Those qualities create entirely different outcomes over time. Not overnight, but gradually. And gradual change is how real transformation happens. If this video helped you see wealth, mindset, and personal transformation differently, subscribe to the channel. Because in the next videos, we're going even deeper into the hidden psychological patterns, emotional conditioning, and mental states that influence abundance, confidence, opportunity, and long-term financial growth. And if you want to explore the deeper concepts behind frequency, mental alignment, emotional regulation, and the methods many people are using to quiet mental noise and strengthen focus, check the link in the description and the pinned comment. It explains how specific sound-based practices are being used to help people shift out of survival mode, regain mental clarity, and reconnect with a more focused and abundant state of mind. If you feel like something invisible has been blocking your momentum for years, that may be the next piece you've been missing.